Madam Reporter, you ready? All right, thank you, counsel. Mrs. Lopez, when this police officer identified himself to you, can you tell me what name he gave you?
¿Podría usted decirme el nombre que él le dio a usted? ¿Qué nombre le dijo a usted?
Me dijo Mark Freeman.
He told me Mark Freeman.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And what did he say to you after he said his name is Mark Furman?
¿Y qué le dijo?
Overruled.
Le dijo a
Ms.
usted.
Clark?
And Ms. Lewis in this situation, they both object.
Yeah, I'm whispering in his ear.
There's an objection, Ms. Stacy.
Doesn't look terrific. Mr. Cochran, would you continue, please?
Thank you very kindly. What did this individual say to you after that, ma'am?
¿Y qué le dijo este individuo a usted después de eso, señora?
Se identificó con una plaquita.
He identified with a small plaque.
It's not responsive, Your Honor.
Well, it's not responsive. It's responsive.
Overruled.
He identified with what?
Con
¿Se
una,
identificó con una qué?
con una cosa, se identificó con algo en las manos. Yo no,
With a thing, he identified with himself with something in his hand.
Was it a badge?
¿Era
Yes.
como una insignia?
sí.
Yes.
That was leading.
Well, I'm trying to understand what it was, Your Honor.
No, you said, was it a badge? You're
All
going to
right,
ask,
let
can
me
you
ask you.
describe what it was?
Okay, straight.
It's stricken, but I know what the next question and answer is going to
Will
be.
you describe what it was he had in his hand?
¿Puede describir usted lo que él llevaba en las manos?
Como una plaquita.
It was
Como
like a little,
Como como cuando uno tiene la licencia de manejar una cosita así. Yo me fijé
like
bien.
when one has a driver's license, like something like that. Your Honor,
Yes,
interpreter's comment.
yes.
When she said a little plaquita, perhaps I should have interpreted a badge instead of a small.
Well,
Can you-
plaquita, I heard the witness say plaquita, and we can invite Dr. Reinoff from UCLA to tell us what a plaquita is. Thank you. We'll proceed.
Can you describe this plaquita anymore for us?
¿Puede usted describirnos qué quiere decir con esta plaquita? ¿Puede escribirnos más qué quiere decir con la plaquita?
¿Qué tenía su nombre?
That it had his name on it.
Do you have any pictures on it?
¿Tenía
Pictures?
fotos?
Yo no me fijé.
I didn't notice.
All right, and after that, tell us what happened after that.
¿Y qué pasó después de eso?
Como yo no lo yo miro bien para afuera y él no me miraba bien para adentro.
Well, because I can see fine outside, but he could not see me well inside.
And what happened?
Porque es una puerta de metal.
Because it's a metal door.
All right, and then did something happen with regard to that?
Él
¿Y
me,
después algo
sí,
pasó con
él
la
me
puerta de
dijo,
metal? Yes.
Señora o mujer,
He told me, lady or woman,
yo no le miro su cara.
I don't see your face.
And then what happened after that?
¿Y qué pasó después de eso?
Yo le dije, perdón,
I said, excuse me,
ahorita le abro la puerta.
I will open the door for you right now.
All right, and did you open the door at that point?
Y luego abrió la puerta en esos momentos?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, and then after you opened the door, what happened then?
Y después de que le abrió la puerta, ¿qué pasó luego?
Él me preguntó que si yo era la dueña de la casa.
He asked me if I was the owner of the house.
What did you respond?
¿Y qué le contestó
Le
usted?
dije, no.
I said no.
And then what happened after that?
¿Y qué pasó después de eso?
Le dije, soy la housekeeper.
I said, I'm the housekeeper.
Dice, ¿cómo te llamas?
And he said, what is your name?
And what did you say?
¿Y qué le dijo
Yo
usted?
le dije, Rosa López.
I said, Rosa Lopez.
All right, when you were talking to him, was he writing any of this down?
Y cuando usted estaba hablando con él estaba apuntando a estas cosas?
No.
No.
All right, after you gave him your name, what happened after that?
Y después de que usted le dio su nombre, ¿qué pasó después de eso?
Me pidió permiso para pasar al lado de atrás de la casa.
He asked me for permission to go to the back side of the house.
And can you look again at that monitor, or you might have to step down and show us, strike that. Did you give him permission to go to the back side of the house?
¿Y usted le dio permiso de entrar al traspatio?
Pues sí le di porque era la policía.
Yes, I did, because it was the police.
And did he leave the door and go someplace at that point?
Y él se retiró de la puerta y se fue a otro lugar en ese
Se fue
momento.
para atrás de la casa.
He went to the back of the house.
And with the back of the house, would that be the area in which you had walked the dog earlier in the evening in the rear portion of the Salinger's residence?
Y esa sería la misma área donde usted había caminado al perro anteriormente esa misma noche, anteriormente en la parte de atrás de la casa de los Salinger.
Sí.
Yes.
Did you go back there with this man at that point?
¿Usted se fue allá atrás con este hombre en esos momentos?
No.
No.
Do you know, if you know, was he with anyone else at this point or was he by himself, you could tell?
Si usted sabe, él iba con alguien más o iba solo en esos momentos.
Iba con otra persona.
He was with another person.
Was that a male or a female?
Era hombre o mujer.
Hombre.
Male.
And where was this man who was with him?
¿Y quién era este hombre que iba con usted? Que iba con él, perdón.
O dijo que era otro policía.
He said it was another policeman.
And when you gave them permission to go in the backyard there, did they leave your sight at some point?
Y cuando usted le dio permiso de ir al traspatio ahí, ¿se perdieron de su vista en algún momento?
Sí, pues se fueron para atrás y yo no los seguí.
Yes, well, they went to the back and I didn't follow them.
All right. And at some point thereafter, did they come back or have further conversation with you?
Leaving, Your Honor.
I think I said yes or no. It's
Oh, well.
foundational.
Y en algún momento después regresaron, después de ir allá atrás, regresaron.
Regresó el primer señor que me tocó la puerta.
The first man who knocked on my door came back.
All right. And did you have a further conversation with him at that point?
¿Y usted habló más con él en esos momentos?
Sí.
Yes.
Tell us what you said and what he said.
¿Podría decirnos qué dijo usted y qué dijo él?
Él me dijo muchas gracias.
He said, thank you very much.
En el momento ese le dije yo, me dijo, decirle a los jardineros,
And at that time I said, and then he said to me,
Di-
tell the gardeners
cualquier cosa extraña que encuentren en el jardín, que no la toquen.
that if anything strange that they find in the yard or in, not to touch,
Call the police.
call the police.
All right. Did he say anything else to you at that point?
Él le dijo algo más a usted en esos momentos.
Después de eso, cuando yo estaba muy, como miraba tanto policía y tanta cámara y tanta cosa, yo le pregunté, ¿qué pasa?
After that, because I had seen so many police officers and so many cameras and so many things, I asked, what happened? What's happening?
Él le dijo, algo horrible ha pasado al otro lado.
And he said, something horrible has happened on the other side.
Yo le pregunté, ¿está Mr. Simpson muerto o herido?
And I asked him, is Mr. Simpson dead or wounded?
Y dice, no.
And he said, no.
And then
Entonces,
what happened then?
yo
¿Qué
le
pasó
dije, me dijo, why?
And then I said, and then he said, why?
Porque anoche, muy noche, yo oí voces, oí hombres que platicaron
Because
al lado del jardín.
Last night, very late, I heard voices. I heard men that were talking in the back of the yard.
You told this detective that?
¿Usted le dijo eso al detective ahí?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. And when you told him that, what did he say? if
Y
anything?
cuando usted le dijo eso a él, ¿qué dijo él?
Él me dijo que si habían oído gritos de mujer o alguna mujer, voces de mujer,
And he asked me if I had heard a woman's screaming or screams of a woman and voices, women voices.
And what did you say, if
¿Y qué
anything?
dijo usted?
dije no, eran hombres.
I said no, they were men.
Él me preguntó que si era la voz de Mr. Simpson.
And he asked me if it was Mr. Simpson's voice.
What did you say?
¿Y qué dijo
Yo le
usted?
dije no, yo no sé.
I said no, I don't know.
And then what happened after that?
¿Y qué pasó después de eso?
Después de eso él me dijo, te vamos a mandar la policía para que le des el testimonio a la policía.
And after that, he told me we are going to send the police so that you can give testimony to the police.
And after he told you that, did any police officer from the Los Angeles Police Department ever come out to interview you after that?
Y después de que le dijo eso a usted, ¿algún oficial de policía de Los Ángeles vino a hacerle alguna entrevista a usted después de eso?
Todavía los estoy esperando, digo.
No, I'm still waiting for them, tell him.
Now, this interview with this Detective Mark Fairman, what time of morning was that, if you recall?
Esta entrevista con el detective Mark Furman, ¿a qué horas de la mañana fue eso? Si usted recuerda.
Como a las 8:30.
About 8:30.
That's on what date? Monday, June 13th?
¿Y eso fue en qué fecha? ¿El 13 de junio, día lunes?
El lunes 13 de junio.
June the 13th, on Monday.
And while you were having this conversation with this gentleman, were the gardeners still there at that point?
Cuando usted estaba platicando con este caballero, ¿los jardineros todavía estaban ahí?
Sí.
Yes.
At any point while you were talking with this individual, did you ever see him write down any notes of any kind?
Cuando en algún momento que usted estaba platicando con este señor, él lo vio que él hacía apuntes en algún momento.
No apuntó nada.
He didn't write anything down.
Did you have any further conversation with him after he told you that someone would be coming to interview you from the Los Angeles Police Department?
¿Platicó más con él usted después de que le dijo que iban a mandarle
Overruled.
más policías que iban a llegar otros policías a hablar con usted?
Ya no volvieron.
They never came back.
Now, you said that at some point you saw police officers in and around the Rockingham residence, is that correct?
Usted atestiguó en algún momento que usted vio oficiales de policía cerca y alrededor de la calle de Rockingham, ¿verdad?
Había mucha policía.
There were a lot of police.
Were these like, can you describe these cars? Were they black and white cars?
¿Puede describir los carros? ¿Eran blanco y negro?
Sí, de los otros de un solo color también.
Yes, and then the other ones that are all one color too.
Now, did you ever have occasion on Monday, June 13th, to go out to Rockingham and see whether or not there were any vehicles parked out there at the curb at Rockingham near Mr. Simpson's home?
Usted tuvo la oportunidad de salir el lunes 13 de junio ahí en la calle Rockingham para ver si habían algunos vehículos estacionados ahí en la calle Rockingham cerca de la casa del señor Simpson.
Había muchos carros parqueados, sí.
There were many cars parked there, yes.
Did you see the Bronco at any time that day?
¿Usted vio el Bronco en algún momento ese día?
Ahí estaba parqueado todavía.
It was still parked right there.
You say it was still parked right there. If you were to look at the car submission again, it's 62A, B, D, and E. And you saw the Bronco on June 13th, 1984. Was it parked in the same way that you'd seen it the night before after 10 o'clock?
Las fotografías que está viendo ahí, las 62A, B, D y E. Que si usted vio que el Bronco que usted había visto estacionado ahí el día 13 de junio de 1994 estaba estacionado en la misma forma que usted lo había visto la noche anterior, como a las 10 de la noche.
Sí.
Yes.
Maybe put your arm up real quick.
Sure. We are going to take our recess for the afternoon at this time. Ms. Lopez, we're not finished yet. Unfortunately, the other side still has to ask you questions. Mr. Cochran has not finished asking you questions. I'm going to order you to come back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Mr. Cochran will make arrangements for you for the evening. Come back here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. All right? Thank you. All right, you may step down.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
¿que ¿le puedo decir algo, señor?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yo tengo
Sir.
mis tickets comprados para mañana a las 11 de la mañana.
I have my tickets purchased for tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, we'll make sure that that gets changed.
Vamos a
Okay.
asegurarnos que eso cambie.
We'll make
Gracias,
sure.
muy amable.
Thank
agradezco
you, very
mucho.
kind.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have here Sylvia Guerra, Guerra. But the court kindly order her back for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
All right, Ms. Guerra, do you understand English, ma'am? All right, you ordered to return here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Thank you, ma'am. All right.
Would you also order Ms. Lopez not to discuss her testimony with anyone except her lawyer and his agent?
Yes, I forgot to advise you. Ms. Lopez, please don't discuss your testimony with any other person other than the attorneys in the case. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Is the order not to contact or attempt to contact Ms.
No,
Guerra?
it's not necessary. All right.
You think it's ridiculous tomorrow? Thank you.
All right, Ms. Lopez, you may step down. Thank you very much, ma'am. And Mr. Cochran, would you find out the travel arrangements, and we'll have to make adjustments for that, and have my clerk make that adjustment for us. All right, let's have can we have Mr. Pavelic brought in, please?
Her lawyer,
Yes. Ms. Hamburger, I'm going to order you to return tomorrow morning as well, 9 o'clock. All right, with client in tow. All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. All right, Ms. Hamburger, do you want to escort your client out? Yes, Madam Interpreter, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Thank you. All right, can we have Mr. Pavelic, please? All right, Mr. Schuman, thank you.
Your Honor, we can find our inquiries today to the statements and notes of Rosa Lopez, or...
Well, that's what I'm most interested in at this point. Let's just keep the inquiry down to specifically what our 1335 that we're in the midst of right now, and then we can move on to other things at another time. We only try to do 53 things at a time here. All right, Mr. Pavelic, good afternoon, sir. Would you come forward? Mr. Pavelic, my understanding is that you've been the investigator for the defense for the past several months, correct?
Since June 14th, yes, sir.
All right. Are you aware of any statements that have been made or any reports or any notes regarding this witness, Rosa Lopez, other than the two statements that have been turned over?
Other than the two statements, no.
Your Honor, I'd ask that these statements be made under oath. He's not an officer of the court.
Well, he is here making representations to me. Do you have a license as a private investigator?
I work under a private investigator's license.
All right. Then I'll have to have him put under oath then.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now made before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state so your first and last names for the record.
No, you can stay right there. Mr. Pavlik, you can just stay right there.
William George Pavelic, P as in Paul, A, V as in Victor, E-L-I-C as in Charles.
All right. With regards to the witness, Rosa Lopez, my understanding is that you conducted 2 interviews of her?
Yes, sir.
All right. And we now have reports that are dated July 29th and, August the 18th?
That's about right, yes, sir.
All right. Are there any other notes with regards to interviews of Rosa Lopez?
When you say notes, I'm not sure what you
Any
mean.
rough notes? Anything you wrote down? Anything handwritten?
I may possibly have some notes in regards to the statement that I took.
All right. Do you have any tape recordings of any statements?
I tape recorded the first statement, which was the July statement.
All right. All right, Mr. Pavlik, where are these items, these notes and tape recordings?
I believe that it's either in the office or at my residence when
All right. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to order you to come to court with those items.
I shall do my best to get those items.
All right. No, don't do your best. Have them here tomorrow.
I shall have them here tomorrow, Your
All
Honor.
right. Thank you. Tomorrow
You're welcome.
morning, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
All right, counsel. We will stand in recess. We'll take this matter up at 9 o'clock. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.